let's get right into it. So I have a list here, okay, and so I'm just gonna give it to you, right? Okay, here it is. 7 mistakes to avoid when you're gonna start your shop. Okay, and I I probably made all these mistakes, and so so I was thinking, I was like, man, like, because I always get asked like, hey, what should I look out for, or what should I do first, or what do you think about this? And so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna give you the 7 things that I think that you should probably avoid, um, when starting the shop. So these are 7 mistakes. Okay, so number one is um, is gonna be quitting too soon and not thinking of all the extra work you'll need to do. Okay, so what happens is, let's just say someone they're doing side jobs, right? And maybe they work at the dealership, and maybe they're doing side jobs too, and maybe that side job, that side work money starts to look pretty good, right? Because let's just say you're at your job all week, and maybe you make $700, maybe you make $1,000 or whatever, right? And then on Saturday and Sunday you make $500, right? And you think, oh man, imagine if I was doing this full time, how much money I can make. And so it starts getting to your head, thinking that you're probably gonna make more money, right? And so what ends up happening is you end up quitting your job, and you say, I'm gonna go full time. Turns out you don't have enough work to keep you busy full time, and so now you're stuck. Or maybe you start off real busy because you have a lot of work, and then it dies out, and now you don't have any work, and so you're like bone dry for like a month, right? And so then shit starts to like really get to you, because you're like, man, I wish I would have thought, before I made this decision, right? So quitting too soon is always going to be a bad mistake, because look, if you've been at your job for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you can use that income for business credit, for credit cards, build up, maybe fix back up your credit. Maybe you want to buy a building, right? Because you have that steady income. The bank is more likely to finance you something because you have that steady income. So you never want to lose that first string of income first. You want to ride it out as long as you can, because remember, that's a first string. That's a steady stream of income. Whatever you're making on the side, that's additional income. Uh, but quitting too soon is always going to be a big mistake, because you don't realize how much work goes into managing a business. Because you think, oh, I'm just gonna, I'm doing these side jobs. They're coming so easy. It's cash. I don't have to report it, this, that, or whatever, right? But what happens is, whenever you quit your job, then you start doing side work, and then maybe you want to start doing insurance claims. The insurance company's gonna be like, okay, who do we make the check out to? Or you might get a job that says, hey, we'll pay you. The check has to be endorsed by the lien holder. So what that means is, like, you have to finish that job before you get repaired. So if it's a $3,000 job, and there's a $1,500 in parts, or maybe it's a $5,000 job, and there's $3,000 in parts, you're gonna have to buy those parts and get that work done first before you get paid. So you're gonna be stuck, and then you don't have a bank account, because they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna issue payment, but we need your tax ID number so we can give you a check. And you don't have a tax ID number because you didn't set up your business, because you just winged it, right? These are all mistakes that most people are gonna make, man. And so I would suggest uh, writing out your current job, right? Build up your business first, then slowly transition over. Once you start getting good clientele, maybe you hire some help, then you can transition over. But leverage that those years you've been at your business to build your credit, to get banking relationships. Uh, it opens up a lot of more opportunities. Okay. Number two is going to be eyeballing estimates. So someone comes in, they says, hey, I want an estimate, how much you think, and you're like, oh, let me eyeball. You're eyeballing, and you're saying, oh, about this, and remember, like, you're actually losing money. Okay, if you're not doing an accurate estimate, if you're not taking the time to price everything out, you're losing money, especially on material. So if instead of eyeballing an estimate, break things down into categories, right? So if someone wants an estimate from you, Don't eyeball it. Write it down and put, okay, how much body time am I going to need? How much paint time? How much paint material am I going to need? And on the paint material, call and get prices. Call and get prices for everything. Or look it up on Amazon. Like, look to see how much a gallon of Bondo is. Sandpaper, clear, whatever. Like, just whatever material you might need. Start adding that up. That way you have a good accurate amount of how much that job is going to cost you. Because what happens is a lot of people will eyeball it. Before you know it, they're buying paint that it's way more than they expected because maybe it's a small job, but maybe they couldn't buy a certain amount because of the color, so they had to buy like a whole pint, or maybe they had to buy a quart or whatever, and so they didn't take that in consideration, and so now they're screwed because they're having to pay more for this material. Number three is working whenever you want. So you maybe you quit your job and you have your shop going, right, and maybe you show up at 11. Maybe some days you're there at 10. Maybe one day you're really excited, so you get there at 6, right? So it's not consistent, and so people don't see it as a real business. They see it as like more of a hobby shop. This guy's there sometimes. He's not there all the time. You got to go by, man. You gotta catch him there. So what happens is people won't really go to you because they don't think you're a real business. They think it's more of a hobby shop. They think it's a part-time thing. And so you might not attract new customers because people will pay attention to like hours, or they don't have business hours up. So you want to have business hours, like a sign with business hours. If you're gonna be a real business, put a business sign up with real business hours. That way, people will actually see when you're there. Not a long time ago, I had another shop location, and there was a guy in the back that did like detailing, and he did some ceramic coating and like I think like tinning or something like that, right? And he was very good at what he did, but he wasn't consistent with his hours. And so, one day he will be there early, one day he'll be there at lunchtime, one day he would take the day off. Maybe he wasn't feeling good, so he went home early. Maybe he was hungover, so he got there late. And so people would go and say, "Hey, is this shop open? Is this place open?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, he should. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know when he gets there." And what happened was I saw him personally lose a lot of business because he wasn't there. And it actually was making me think, hey, man, I can hire someone here to do that and get all that work from him because he was actually pretty good. People knew he did good work, but his business wasn't structured right, and he didn't have regular operating hours, so he lost a lot of business. So that's gonna be one thing. Just especially moonlighting too. Like you want to work at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. Your friends are there. Y'all start drinking on the weekends. Y'all are barbecuing. Customers will see that. People will see that, and they won't take your business serious. Number four is gonna be hiring the wrong people to help with no clear title of what they're doing, or no clear expectations of what they have to do. Right. So a lot of times, this happens a lot. You have a full time job. You have a shop, or you're doing work at your house, and it starts to get piled up. You're like, man, I need someone to help me. You find someone to help you. You're paying them hourly, or you're paying them like weekly, and they're not getting the work done like you need it done. And so you're actually gonna start to lose money because you didn't give that person clear direction or what they need to do exactly to get paid. So if you hire anybody to do any kind of work for you, you're basically subcontracting the workout. So if someone pays you to restore their car, right? And let's just say they pay you $3,000 or $4,000 to do the body work, right? And you say, you know what, I'm gonna hire someone to do it. I'm just gonna pay them every week $500. They're gonna drag that out as long as possible. Okay, so what you'll want to do is you want to calculate. Okay, I got $3,000 in body work, right? So let me divide that by $60 an hour, right? You divide that, and then you decide how much you're gonna pay your guy hourly. Typically, if it's restoration work, you probably could pay him like $23, $24 an hour. So now you have a budget of what you can pay him. So you can say, hey, look, this job has so many hours. I need to get it done in this time. If you get it done any sooner, I'm still gonna pay you the amount. But this is what we got. And so you have clear expectations and clear guidelines and clear deadlines of when that job needs to be done, versus you paying someone hourly or you paying them salary. just to be there while you're at work, because it never works out, because they're not being managed, and so they're gonna do whatever they want. Number five is no financial tracking system, and no, you're buying stuff, and you're not tracking the expenses on that. So what will tend to happen is, like, you won't really know your profit margin. You won't really know if that job made you money. And so the simplest way to do this is, like, if you get a job in, okay, make sure get a file for it. Okay, even if you're doing side jobs, get a file. Uh, make some kind of authorization form, giving that, saying that they're allowing you, or they're paying you to do some service on their vehicle, right? It's like a contract. You want to get something written in writing, okay? I don't care if you're from Mexico. I don't care, whatever. Get something in writing to protect yourself, because a lot of people, I'm being serious. If they see you're Hispanic, or they'll try to take advantage of you, or if you're even if you're white, if you just starting out, and they see you're not established, they see you're not structured, they might try to take advantage of you. And I'm gonna tell you why, because this happened to me when I was younger. Like, some lady wanted her vehicle fixed. Her husband was out of town. She needed it fixed pretty quick, because she didn't want him getting upset. I stayed up like almost 2 3 nights, like, working to get that vehicle done, getting that vehicle done. Uh, when we got it done, like, her husband ended up coming home. He was very upset. He didn't want to pay me. He's like, "Why did I never agree to this? There was no There was nothing signed. I don't have to pay you." And so I didn't get paid on it, because I didn't have no written agreement. So just because you're trying to get work, don't be desperate, and don't take shortcuts, and don't get nothing without any kind of signature or any authorization form. Okay, so authorization form first, then you have your estimate first, right? Anything that you buy that's gonna go to that vehicle, make sure you put that receipt in that folder, right? When you get done with the job, then you kind of can do an audit and say, okay, this is how much I spent, this is how much they gave me, this is how much I made. Okay, that way you can actually track that expenses. Okay. Number six is gonna be paying yourself. So this can get kind of tricky. It can get kind of complicated if you're trying to wing it. So the proper way to do this is gonna be to really form your business. Okay, it's gonna be your LLC. Form your LLC. Most people will start off as a sole proprietor, right? And the problem with that is, like, there's too much liability involved, and the taxes are that you're gonna pay a lot of taxes. So by structuring your LLC, you're actually gonna be an employee to the LLC. So you're actually employing yourself. You can pay yourself, like, as an owner draw, where you're writing yourself a check, or you can go to the next step and actually put yourself on salary, where you're actually getting a W-2 form. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more of a process. You got to kind of have some little bit of business experience, and have a bookkeeper and CPA that you're working with to help you structure all that. But basically, what it does, it actually now you have proof of employment, because one thing that happens whenever you open a shop, now you're self-employed. Whenever you're self-employed, you're a higher risk, because you don't have no steady income. You are the income. Like, you are the you're everything. So everything relies on you. So, like, it's not very attractive to banks or people that are gonna lend you money, right? It's like risky. But if and plus, like, it's you wanna eventually structure yourself like that. And I mean, you will. I mean, you will, if you're following my stuff. Just the language that I'm speaking, the information I'm giving you, it's gonna start to make you think bigger, and start making you think about these things. How do I get these things into place, right? Number seven is gonna be not branding. Not branding. Okay, not branding, and sticking strictly to, like, word of mouth. Like, I meet a lot of guys, right, that they want to, like, go to the next level, and they want to do all this stuff. And I say, like, what does your marketing look like? And they always say, like, I'm word of mouth, dude. Like, I all my business is word of mouth, and, like, everybody knows me, and I'm like, and that's fine. But word of mouth we're only gonna get you so far. Okay, you need to start. You need to set up a marketing strategy, a marketing plan, some kind of branding, right? So what I always suggest to shop owners, and I get a lot of Instagram messages from a lot of shop owners from all over, and let me tell you, if you've messaged me on Instagram, I'll call you. I will call you, and I will get on a call with you, and I'll well, I'll say, okay, what are you trying to do? Let's figure it out, and I'll give you some game. Like I'm telling people, like, man, I can't believe you called me. I was like, dude, like, you're asking for my help. Like, I'm gonna reach out and help you out. Okay, not branding, not setting up a logo, not having the proper thing set up. One of my buddies, I think he's in uh, man, where's he at? Anyway, his thing is called Leon Collision Center, right? And he reached out to me. He says, "Hey man, like I want to get to marketing. I need to figure out this marketing thing." I looked at his information. I said, "Like you don't have a logo. Like you don't have something that's like eye catching." Okay, we made him a logo, dude. Like a badass logo, right? We made him some postcard flyers, dude. This like I said that's what it takes. You take him to taquerias, you take him insurance agent, you drop those flyers off everywhere of your logo of what you do, you're gonna get business, and people are gonna start to recognize that logo. And now you can put that logo on T-shirts, hats, sponsored T-ball games, football games, school things. You have something to brand yourself, okay? And that's how you start to build up your business because people start to recognize the logo, right? And the logo will start to stand out, and people will start to know you. So hey guys, man, if y'all thought this video was helpful, I got another one for you right here. Uh, and if you thought that this channel adds value, like I said, the channel is called Collision Panure, and that's for those collision shop owners that want to go to the next level. They're tired of being, technicians. They wanna have an entrepreneurial lifestyle. They want to build a legacy. They want to build some wealth. They wanna build something. This is the channel for you.